We are starting to read a hand of a female whose age is 42 right now. She donated her kidney to her husband. Now the husband is no more and died due to kidney failure. This is what I would be concentrating, and her questions regarding her future job and future partner or uh, other things in her life. This is what I would be dealing in this particular palmistry video. Before I start the video, I would request you to press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update. To get a reading from me, you can call me or you can email me. That's what you can do. And now we straight away head to this particular hand image and try to give an analysis of what basically I see on her hand. See, as far as uh, looking at indications at the age of 42, I would just point out few lines. This is basically the money line, and this is the headline, and this is basically the heart line. The somewhere in the middle is age 44. So somewhere at this particular age, there's a line that is coming and crossing over. The crossing over of this line, some people say it's good, some people say it's bad, but I consider the crossing over of line not to be a good sign. And those are basically indicative of few troubles that might come in one's life. This line doesn't necessarily mean that the partner might pass away. It is just a passing phase of trouble. That is it, nothing more than that. So don't think with this particular indication there would be extreme case scenario. It could be just a major turn in the life. That's it. After that, the first thing is that now we come to the other aspect. We would take a look at, this is the line of attachment. There appears to be only a single line of attachment under the finger of Mercury. This is basically the finger of Mercury, and under the finger of Mercury there appears to be just a single line. Now, as far as going by her question, like will there be a future partner? Even when we see a single line, it doesn't mean that there could never be another partner in her life. It is not like that. These lines that we see under the mount of Mercury could mean just line of attachments and nothing more than that. It's just the line of attachments. So people who have two or three lines, it doesn't mean that they would marry two or three times. And people who have just a single line, it would not mean that they would just have one relationship and basically it ends there. But it certainly means that the person would be attached to a single person in her life. This is what basically it means. As far as the trouble on this particular line, if we zoom in into this particular hand attachment line, we would notice that this is the line out here. One line is straight and another line is kind of dipping downwards. And there's another line that is kind of dipping downwards towards the heart line. Any line dipping downwards to the base of the palm, this is basically the base of the palm, is not considered to be good. It might bring in some kind of troubles. This is what it means. It could be marital troubles or it could be otherwise as well, like problem with the partner's health. So this is what, but again I would say do not think that it is a sure shine that the partner is going to pass away. It is not like that. So this is the thing that I wanted to clear out here. Even with the whole line dipping downwards, it wouldn't basically mean that everything is going to go bad in a person's relationship. The second part about her reading is that she wants to know about her future. See, for future, the most important line to refer to is this particular perpendicular line under the mount of Mercury. This is the area of mount of Mercury. And having a perpendicular line, deep and clear line, is a good indication to have. It basically signifies that the person has good set of skills and the person is sharpening their skills. This is what it means. So a person who has good amount of skills, the chances are that they would be able to come out of the problem because of their skills. And she is an extremely good communicator, like talking in the most precise way, communicating in a very precise way. This is what other people want, precision in what you are basically trying to convey, and at the same time the skills. So both these things are there. And she's basically a makeup artist, and for it's not that see makeup artist. There are 2-3 areas to look for makeup artists. If the first area is the area of beauty. This is the area of beauty. This is the area of Mount of Venus. So Mount of Venus, if it is super prominent, very well padded, then it signifies that the person has those kind of skills. Out here we do not see a very well padded area. We can't say with certainty that the person would be a makeup artist, but because the person has got this line of skill, a long line of skill from the money line branching out. This is basically the money line, and this is the skill line. It's pointing towards the Mount of Mercury. These are basically considered to be beautiful kind of lines. It means even when the desire is not there, the Venus basically is indicative of desires and beauty and grace and everything. Yet, because of the skills, the person knows what they are doing. And it's not only, don't think that that Mercury Mount is just for like makeup artists. It can be, a person can be a good lawyer, a person can be a good teacher, a person could be an extremely good businessman, a person could be a good scientist, good engineer. All these things are basically depicted by the Mercury Mount. So anything can be a person can become anything with a strong Mercury line. So it's all dependent upon what we take up in our early life, that basically we become. And so the set of skills in her skills, they are extremely good. If she tries to basically use it, it's going to come to her benefit. This is the first part. Now we come to the sun line. This is basically the career line. You would notice this is the career line. And she got married at a very early age. I wouldn't basically mention at what age, but at a really early age. The sun line has developed somewhere at before the intersection of the headline and before the intersection of the headline. This is the portion where the line has become very prominent. So the age at which the line of sun becomes prominent is approximately at the age of 31 or so. It could be 30, 31, anytime. And this line is extremely deep and clear and singular kind. This is what it should be. It means that good name and fame in her work. It's not that she required to work, because she mentioned she didn't have the need to work, but if she tries to give energies to her work, it's going to basically pay off. 100% it's going to pay off. Although we find the line to become a little bit dim after the age of 44 to 53. This is when it's not so clear. But you don't have to basically consider this portion. If we find the line of sun to be prominent beyond the heartline, this is beyond the heartline, it means 100% success. So you have two lines prominent. One is the Mercury line and one is the sun line. Both these lines are extremely good lines. Deep and clear lines means that you are giving appropriate amount of energies to your work. And this is a beautiful sign. So if she makes the effort, 100% she's going to be successful. Another way of looking at it is that if the basically the heartline and beyond, you would notice that the sun line is prominent. It also indicates there basically her sons are basically going to become they are going to be extremely successful, because somewhere at that particular moment of time they would have grown up, and they're already grown up and kind of working, but that's when things are going to be much better. So a sun line could also mean, from children's point of view, things are going to be beautiful. So this is what it is showing up in this particular hand. And as far as the money line goes, you would notice that 2 or 3 things I'm going to mention out here. This is basically the money line. This is the early portion, the intersection of the head and the money line. This portion is before the age of 35. And you would notice that in the earlier period, lines are kind of joining into the main money line. So these are benefits coming to the person. but somewhere at the age of probably 29 or so, there's an inward kind of a line going towards the Mount of Mars. Again, an inward kind of, so money losses can be expected in those earlier period. It's before the age of 30. This is what is basically indicative. She has already passed that particular age. She's somewhere at the age of 44. So somewhere from the age of 34 onward, this portion is 34 onwards, you see a V or a Y-like portion. V or a Y-like portion towards pointing towards a finger of Saturn is generally considered to be a good sign as far as money goes. So money should not have been a problem in her case. And she is having two lines running parallel in her case. I did ask her, like, is she working? So she mentioned she did freelancing, but she's not working frequently. If she works, probably these are going to bring benefits. So I would say that if she puts her energies to her work, the chances would brighten up. Now, as far as the heartline goes, this is basically the heartline. The heartline is not so clear. It has got few branches over it. It's a kind of an unclear kind of a line. It means a person who gets distracted, and a person who gets distracted and is not able to focus their energies into their work, the chances are that they would like kind of not being able to concentrate on their work. But now, as the hardship has come onto her, so what's going to happen is the pressure is going to build up upon her. So even when he find that the line has got distractions, again it still might mean that person would be able to concentrate. So it's not that if you have certain lines, it's going to remain 100%. She did mention that she was kind of distracted from her early childhood and even in the later phase. But I think that even the practical side is that we look at different situations. So if a hardship comes, the person basically is bound to become focused, and the chances would brighten up. So this is what it is. Although the heartline, if it was much more deeper and clearer, the stresses could have been less, because the heartline, which is not so clear, means that the person is prone to stress, the person is prone to anxiety, and the person is kind of carrying the extra baggage of the past. So it is advised that the person tries not to carry the extra baggage of the past. Whatever has happened basically has happened. They should basically move ahead in their life. This is what what would be my suggestion. Now, as far as the other portion of the life goes, you would notice that this is basically the lifeline, and there are few lines that are coming and crossing over something like this. It's coming like and touching the headline. So we would just use this particular line that's coming and touching the headline. As such, the headline in the initial phase was not so clear, but after the age of 35, things become much more deeper and clearer. So it is expected that whatever is going to happen in her life is going to happen according to expectation. It's not going to come up like suddenly everything is going to get destroyed. It's not going to be something like this. And the other aspect to see, her question regarding a possible partner. This is the question basically I will try to answer out here again. See, the thing is that the Venus mount is the mount of desires. It could be desires to have a partner, and Venus is a warm planet, a very warm planet. So it is the warmth within the particular person. If it is not very well padded, it means that the desires are basically going down. So if the desires is going down, so the chances are that the person, if they delay now at this particular age at 44, if they delay any further of not getting married, the chances are that they might not get married at all, because the desires are going to get subdued. It is basically this way. Basically, I'm giving you giving the answer. Although, if you look closely, you would find that at this particular age on the money line, this is basically the money line. This is headline, and this is heartline. So somewhere in the middle, what's happening is there's another line is coming and kind of pointing towards the mount of sun. Basically, it's something like that, and a V-like portion is getting formed. So this portion could be a good indication in her case if she makes effort, probably she can get married, but there's no 100% surety as far as out here this hand goes. Uh, and it's not only dependent on this person herself, it is also basically the other people around her. If the other people around her make a little bit of effort, the chances basically brighten up, and for the second marriage. And if they are kind of having a lacking attitude, the chances basically decrease. So it all depends upon their desires. And some people are people who have, basically, I try to explain to you in a very, very different way. It is something like some people are in a kind of, let's say, some people are in a marriage and everything is going fine. If a person has got a very, very prominent Venus, they would try to find ways to have other partners as well. So Venus is a planet of love of God, like a god of love. And if it is super prominent, it means that they just can't live without love. And they are very warm by nature, and they want to energize, they give warmth and they want to take warmth. Both these are in equal measure. So I would say that if she wants to get married, she should make the effort right now, and maybe another few months. And if the chance arises, then make the effort and basically go ahead with it. So this is what is I can say as far as the marriage goes. Another aspect I want to make out here is regarding her Mercury finger. This is basically the Mercury finger, and the Mercury finger is a little bit short. It's not even touching the top line of the sun finger. This is the sun finger, and this is basically the Mercury finger. Mercury finger, when it is short, basically these people are kind of distance gets created between their near and dear ones. It's something like this. Mercury finger is the finger of communication, so it is basically a communication tower. So there are two towers: a long communication tower and a short communication tower. Long communication tower means long finger. The reach is much larger. A short communication tower is basically the reach is comparatively less, so lesser people are like these people would be able to communicate with lesser amount of audience. But at the same time, I've seen that a shorter Mercury finger might signify that these people would be able to communicate with hundreds of people in an extremely good way. But when it concerns to a person who is standing right besides them, right out here, so what's going to happen? There would be some miscommunication. So people who are really close by, this is where miscommunication might develop. People who are close by, that's where miscommunication might develop. Now, one more thing I need to add before I end this particular video is that I'm not able to see this portion of the headline. So this portion of the headline where she's running, so this intersection of the money and the headline is, this is age 35, and somewhere out here it appears to be an upward kind of a line from the headline, and then again towards the end there's an upward kind of a line. So upward kind of a lines on the headline is considered to be a very good sign. So this upward kind of a line could mean some good things are basically happening in this particular person's life, and these good things could be either marriage, or it could be her career. So whatever she wants to do, she will be able to attain clarity on one's headline after the age of 35. Although her husband passed away somewhere when she's running 42, so it's a bad time for her. But even then, I find the line of head to be extremely clear. It means that no mental breakdown should happen in her case, and she would be able to sustain and move ahead in her life. It also appears that a headline that is kind of a V-like portion, a branch kind portion, is happening somewhere towards the end of the line. It signifies the person is a genius and knows what they are doing. And 2 or 3 lines of money after the age of 35 means they need not worry about About finances, financials should remain stable. And I'll just briefly take a look at the left hand. Left hand and right hand is basically the same thing. Left is the hand of past, right is the hand of present. Left is passive hand, right is active hand. Uh, and but I give more importance to the right hand. Um, Women who are totally domesticated, who don't venture out, I use the left hand. But I give, so my importance is basically more towards the right hand. In her case, in the heartline, this is basically the heartline. You would notice an island-like formation on the heartline, elongated periods of emotional stress, and this emotional stress would have been there even before. It's not that after getting married, it could be at an early age also that emotional stress could have been there. She carries the extra baggage of the past, so some stress and anxiety has always been there. Sun line is good in the left hand as well, although it vanishes away somewhere at the age of 42 to 53, and beyond that it's extremely beautiful. So it's not that absence of the line doesn't mean that there's no career. There could be an extremely good career. Another good aspect regarding the hand is in her left hand, you would notice that a very deep and clear kind of a line is on the mount of Saturn after the age of 53. This could also signify two things: either getting married, or the second thing could be she would have a very financial uh, stable life beyond 53. So this is what she can expect. And a little bit more taking care is needed in regarding her health. She needs to be careful regarding her health, not right now, but beyond 60, 65. This is her lifeline, and lines that are moving from the lifeline pointing towards the mount of moon. Moon is basically moon affects water, and water in our body is mainly in our kidneys. So this is where she already has donated one of her kidneys. And but these lines are not necessarily only meaning that. These lines could mean like the person's desire to travel increases. The person basically gets restless in an older age. This is what it might mean. Although with the lifeline, there's also a supporting lifeline. Supporting lifeline means support from somebody in the family that is going to be there. It could be son, it could be brother, it could be father, it could be anybody else. So that's it for this particular hand reading. And before I end, I would just repeat few things that I repeat in almost all my videos. Importance of money line, possessions and wealth is only 15% on the money line. It's not nothing more than that. Money can be known from any aspect of your palm. Money is a very, very important aspect, and money can support you in times of need. So money can be seen on heartline, headline, lifeline, sunline, Mercury, Venus, Mars, or any other line. Her heartline is a little bit not so clear, so focus needs to be there. Her sunline is beautiful. Her Mercury line is beautiful. She needs to use her skills. And a saint once said, you do not need to go to an astrologer or pharmacist to know about your future, because you already know your future. Present is a result of past. How will be your future? Future depends upon what you are doing in the present. What are we? We are product of our thoughts. So the thoughts that come to our mind are really important. Keep positive thoughts and keep good company. That's what matters the most. And that's what matters the most. And if you are in the right company, probably they will take you in the right direction. If you're in the wrong company, even if you have the best of hand, they would take you in the wrong direction. Thanks, bye, and take care.